Let's get into this second segment. We're going to be talking about the biggest surprises that we had in the draft. This could either be things like the player who we picked, a player that we passed on, potentially a trade that we made, positions that we didn't address, anything like that. Let's talk about the biggest surprises. Joshua, what was one of the biggest surprises that you felt like the Ravens had during the draft process?
Man, me personally, well, I would say, taking the gamble on Mr. Brandon Stevens, for the simple fact that, 4 or 5 star recruit as a running back going to UCLA. Then, you already broke down his story. Transferred over to SMU. He actually decided to take that challenge of making a transition to playing corner. You already 2 years deep into your college career. I mean, shouldn't you continue playing running back? I mean, you were doing pretty good. So what? So why now? I believe the Ravens went ahead and took the chance on him for that exact reason. You knew what you can do, but you took on another challenge and still challenged yourself in being a high draft profile. Also playing a position that you really didn't play like that, at a high level. So I feel like the Ravens say, you know what? Let's call this young man up. Let's get him on the team. Yeah, he lists as a corner, but yeah, we can put him back there as a safety. He has good recovery speed. He can do man-to-man coverage. He's about 6'6", He can stay. He has a good frame where he can stick with some of the best tight ends possibly, and let's see if we can make him to a Super Bowl. I mean, see if we can make him to a Pro Bowl corner or free safety or just a defensive back. Period. It's a gamble on both ends, and you gotta love it because it's the Ravens' way. The Ravens do homework. The Ravens look at those diamonds in the rough. So why not? We're gonna go win. So the Brandon Stevens pick, man, that definitely caught me off guard. But understanding the mind of Eric DeCosta and the whole war room, man, I get it, and I love it.
Yeah, for me, one of the biggest surprises was the Ravens trading back in the 4th round. I believe the pick was to the Arizona Cardinals. Just because, so they picked 131st overall. I believe the other pick it may have been pick 136 if I'm not mistaken. But what happened was, the Ravens take Tylan Wallace. That was a Ravens pick. I think from everything that I've seen, that is a best player available type of pick. I believe he was the best player on Mel Kiper's board, still available. The Ravens, obviously, I believe Eric DeCosta after even was like, yeah, you just can't pass. We just couldn't pass on him. So they go with best player available. And it was very surprising to me because there were a fair amount of guys, good centers, good offensive linemen, really good guys at a lot of positions, edge rusher, linebacker, ton of guys. But they ended up deciding to trade back, and they also traded their 6th round pick in that trade back. Now, I'm not saying I dislike the trade. I'm just saying that I was surprised by it because they traded that 6th round pick. They got a future 4th rounder, which I absolutely love. I think they got great value. They traded back and got a 5th round pick. But them trading that 6th rounder really surprised me. That was like the big surprising part, just because the Ravens love to get those later round guys. Late in the 6th round, it's when the Ravens try and really reach for some guys that they think has a lot of – that's when they really go for their high potential guys. Whether or not they work out all the time is, it's typically they don't work out, but they're still taking that shot, and they like to take those chances. So them trading back, the Ravens trade back all the time, but in the same sense, they also typically – you would think that they could have gone best player available. I'm trying to remember. There wasn't anybody on the board besides Simi Fehoko that I was just like, yes, please draft him. Because the guys that I really liked ended up going a lot later because I made videos on guys to draft, and they were all kind of later, late 5th, early 6th round. And I was like, yeah, we got late 5th, early 6th rounders. Well, we traded away those picks. So getting guys like Shaka Toney, Charles Snowden at the time, I was pretty surprised by it, but that was a big surprise. Do you have any other surprises that caught you off guard, Joshua?
I would say adding Tylan Wallace. For the simple fact that we have a overcrowded wide receiver room. I mean, granted, now I'm pretty sure Ravens fans are not going to be what's the word I want to use? They're not going to be satisfied because now I'm pretty sure that they're still going to want us to go after Julio Jones, knowing damn well his contract is not going to work for us. I mean, granted, I talked to some of my friends. My friends say, "Hey, man, let's still get a veteran wide receiver." I'm like, "What's the purpose at this point?" We have not only enough young talent, but I don't think a veteran wide receiver right now that's available would suffice, you know, Lamar Jackson's growth right now, in my opinion. Now, if we were able to, make the move for Julio Jones and it doesn't mess us up in the long scheme of everything, then hey, sure, let's get that veteran wide receiver that could probably be what they were to Joe Flacco, that security blanket, someone he knows that can go up and get the ball and things of that nature, and actually help teach those young guys around them to become better. But Lamar Jackson, um, he loves his guys. I mean, you saw on I think it was Overtime's Twitter when they tweeted out all the new additions, and Lamar Jackson retweeted, yeah, welcome to the Ravens flock, and also welcome to and y'all, I'm ready to get to work with my new guns and also with my OGs as well. Uh,
Oh
so
yeah.
I mean, granted, Tylen Wallace, he's definitely a Steve Smith senior comparison type of guy for me. I definitely feel like he can make the 53-man roster and contribute a lot. It's an overcrowded wide receiver room right now. You know, I don't see us keeping seven, but I definitely feel like with the overcrowdedness, it's going to make everyone better in that room. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these wide receiver battles for this upcoming season.
Yeah. For me, I wasn't overly surprised by the talent loss just because I felt like the Ravens probably should be adding two wide receivers in this draft. I love the depth of this draft class. I think it was probably more deep than last year's class, and we saw how good last year's class was in terms of the later
Mm-hmm.
round players being good. So like the Ravens going out and getting another wide receiver, it was not most of my mock drafts. I had two wide receivers, at least two wide receivers going to the Ravens, just because I felt like they could go after it. But for me, a guy that I was really I don't know, maybe it wasn't a guy. But the way that the Ravens addressed the offensive line, I was surprised by. I was not somebody that thought that they should or really would go after the offensive tackle position, just because I've said it all along. I'm very confident that they will be signing Alejandro Villanueva.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of going after guys like Tevin Jenkins, I didn't really think like it was super likely. In terms of the center position, I did think that they could address it. But then I was surprised with Ben Cleveland and the Ravens going with the left guard, because obviously we had Bradley Bozeman, who was a solid left guard for us, and obviously yeah, he could play center. That was brought up, really all off season. It was brought up how, oh yeah, maybe he could end up switching over to center. But us going guard that early, I was definitely surprised by it. Now I'm very happy with it. I really like the pick, but I was definitely surprised in the way that they addressed the offensive line. And not going after center. I'm not surprised, but I am a bit surprised that there wasn't any like super late round pick. But I did not really think that they would go early for offensive line. And I know a lot of Ravens fans are really surprised by them not going after anybody, because a lot of people were like, we should go center tackle with our first two picks.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. I'm very happy we did not go center tackle. That would, ugh.
I'll do you one even better. I'm I'm happy and also surprised that with our two first round picks, the Ravens did not disappoint. The reason and Ravens family understand what I'm saying. We talked about the opportunity and chances where they could have went offensive line, maybe even edge rusher, or safety and corner with those first two picks. They actually addressed some of the higher profile needs with those first two picks in wide receiver and also edge rusher, and two guys, that can potentially be, Pro Bowlers and Ravens for years to come. So, seeing the Ravens be aggressive as they have been, especially in this year's draft, I love it. I'm so not surprised, but satisfied.
Okay, yeah. I like that. I think that's a good way to put it. Um, I think that's probably pretty good for the surprises. So thank you everybody for watching this segment. Go check out the other segment. Go check out the Twitter account. It's actually different from that. It's not at Trust the Bank. It's at TTB_Ravens. I made another one. I don't know why. I think I didn't add it to my recording thing. So next time it'll be all updated. My mistake. But